Ambassador Christian College presents the Keith Slough Commentary with Dr. Keith Slough.
This is Dr. Keith Slough from Ambassador Christian College. The election of a new president is something that has people excited. Anytime a new president is elected and begins to take office and is inaugurated, it's a time of excitement. In the 2016 election, Donald J. Trump was elected president, and during the campaigns and the debates, and many of you saw those debates, they asked, it's a funny thing, they didn't ask Hillary Clinton this question. They only asked Donald Trump, will you accept the results of the election if you lose? You remember that? Some of you saw the debates. They said, now, will you accept the results? I mean, they were really hammering away on him. They didn't ask Hillary that. And so then Hillary's reply was, well, it's just un-American if somebody won't accept the results of an election. And from the time that of election night in November, what was it, November the 8th, I believe it was, in 2016, from that time until inauguration week, all you heard from the Democrats was, well, he's not a legitimate president. We won't accept the results of the election. And people, right after election night, they were demonstrating. The Democrats were in the streets of Chicago and various cities and pillaging and looting and breaking into windows of stores, committing crimes, ostensibly as a protest because they could not accept the results of the election. You know, when I read Matthew 23 in the New Testament, I read Jesus Christ's reaction to hypocrisy. Now, that's a fancy word that means being a hypocrite. What's a hypocrite? That's someone who wears a mask, who claims to be one thing and does something else. You know, if I condemn you for doing something that I'm doing, I'm a hypocrite. If I even judge you negatively for doing something that I myself am doing, I am a hypocrite. And that's the definition, basically, the connotation of a hypocrite. And Jesus had a lot to say about it in Matthew chapter 23 in the New Testament. And yet, Hillary Clinton could not accept the results of the election. Her folks could not. She didn't go out and tell all of her followers, now, wait a minute, folks, he's the elected person. We've got to support him. Now, she did make one little speech right afterwards when she made a concession speech. But after that, did she go out here and demand that her followers stop protesting? No. I mean, they even, who was it? I forget what state it was. I think it was Michigan. They did a recount, hoping that they could overturn the election. And that didn't work out because they found out Donald Trump had more votes. And so then they tried to get the electors. I mean, there's a massive effort to get the electors to vote for Hillary when the official election really occurs, I think it's January the 9th. Is it January 19th? No. It's December the 19th in 2016. That was when the electors had to go and cast their votes for the right candidate. And Trump, I heard one guy who was interviewed on Fox News. His name was Goldberg. That's his name. He said he predicted before the election that Hillary Clinton would get 340 electoral votes. She got 235, I believe it was, or 230-something. And Donald Trump got 306. When they actually did the electors on the 19th of December, when they actually did that, there were two of them that did decide not to support Trump, and so therefore he actually lost. As it turns out, he actually did lose 2 electoral votes, but he still had over 300 votes. Isn't that amazing how people are so hypocritical? It's just amazing to me. Totally, completely amazing that people can be so hypocritical. Oh, well, that's folks. That's people for you. I am surprised at how immature the crybabies, as they were popularly called in November after the election, I'm surprised at how many thousands of crybabies. And, of course, there were people in Hollywood who said, if Trump is elected, I'm leaving the country. I'm going to Canada. Oh, I'd love to help them pack their bags and send them on. We don't need them here. Anyway, you know, what was really interesting about all that was that it was at that time during the interval from the time he was elected until Inauguration Day, the 20th of January, one of his promises was to bring in more jobs. And before he even took office, he was bringing in thousands of new jobs from major industry. And he hadn't taken office yet. I was talking to a millionaire, a friend of mine here just the other day, just a couple of days ago. And actually, as I'm doing this program now, it was just yesterday. I knew it was recent. But I told him, because he's got a very large business, and he made a lot of money in it. And I said, if you were president of the United States, and if you would run the country the way you run your business, I suggested that. I implied that would be a good thing. I said, but if you were running your current business the way the United States government runs its business, you'd have been bankrupt a long time ago. Our government does not know how to run business. So they elected Donald Trump because here's a guy that knows how to operate as a businessman. If anybody could get us out of the $20 trillion debt, which is ridiculous, it would be a billionaire a billionaire who knows how to make money, who knows how to make right deals, who knows how to get us out of the debt, if it can be done. But now, having said all that, I'm not here to blow his trumpet. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying this. Maybe God has given us a little more time. Maybe we won't go bankrupt as quickly as I thought we might. Hillary Clinton promised to continue the policies of Barack Obama, who, during his office, during his presidency, in 8 years, the national debt doubled from $9 trillion all the way into 19 or 20 trillion dollars. Do you have any idea how much money that is? That's 1,000 million, and that's just, our minds don't even grasp how much money that is. In November, at the time of the election, America was borrowing, going into debt, $2 billion per day. And it's ridiculous, utterly ridiculous. But here's the major thing. Even if God will use Donald Trump to get America back on track economically, I wonder who God is going to use to get America back on track morally. Because that's really not his job, really, not as a president in a democratic republic. He really can't do that. It requires religious leaders. Some of you who are listening to me who are ministers and who are clergy. For years and years, I picked on the ministry. Now, I am an ordained minister and have been for over 3 decades, so I think I can say something about them. So I want to talk to you ministers for a minute. Do you stand in your pulpits and do you tell your people who are registered voters not to vote for pro-abortion candidates? Now, I know the Johnson law that says that you can't support a candidate or tell people who to vote for, but do you tell them what to vote for and what not to vote for? If you're not doing that, you're not doing your job. You know how so many people have voted for pro-abortion candidates, and that's why we have abortion. That's why we haven't been able to get rid of it. Hillary Clinton was in favor of abortion all the way up to the 9th month as the baby's being delivered. A healthy little baby boy or little baby girl, and kill it, murder it as it's being delivered. That is such, I don't have words to describe what wickedness that is. And Hillary Clinton is wicked. I'm not getting into politics here. I'm getting into religion. This is not politics. This is religion. This is not being political. This is telling it the way it is. Any man or woman who thinks it's okay to murder an infant is a wicked person, underscored, boldface, and 3 exclamation marks. She's wicked. I'm reminded of the lady who tried to be a queen in Israel. Israel never had queens. All they had was kings. But there's this one lady named Athaliah, and she decided she would be a queen. So she took it upon herself to kill all the seed royal, as the Bible calls them, all the relatives to to David. All the descendants of David who might inherit the throne, she killed them all. And she was left. What she didn't realize is that the wife of the high priest, was it the wife or the sister? I think it was the wife. Yeah, it was the wife of the high priest. Took one of the youngest sons of the previous king and hid him until he was something like 7 years old. So she reigned for about 7 years, and the Bible refers to as, her name was Athaliah, and they referred to her as that wicked Athaliah. And they finally assassinated her. She was so wicked, she was so evil, the high priest, clergy, listen to me, ministers, pastors, listen to me. The high priest said, we need to put this wickedness out of our country. The high priest is the one who had her assassinated publicly. And then they installed the son of the previous king, who had been also killed. They put him in as now the king of Judah. Now, I'm not suggesting that clergy, I am not, please believe me, please don't misquote me. I am not suggesting that the clergy be involved in something like that. What I am saying is that they want to put the wickedness out. I'm not talking about killing her. We don't do that in our American culture. They had the right to do that at that time because the high priest was part of the religion. Israel was a theocracy, and so the priest had authority, not quite the same authority as the king, but the priest did have certain authority. In our country, the clergy have zero authority, and I'm talking about legal authority. So what can you clergymen do? Well, we're not going to go out and kill all the pro-abortionists. No, we're not going to do that. But what I'm saying is we don't want to do that because then we're guilty of murder. But what I am saying is this. We've got to preach righteousness, and we've got to tell our congregations, God is going to hold you accountable if you vote the wrong way. And let me tell you this, if you don't know how to vote, then stay home. But if you vote for candidates who are pro-abortion and pro-same-sex marriage, which the Bible condemns, then God is going to judge you for that. Jehoiada, I believe his name was, he had Athaliah killed because she was such a wicked person, and she had had all the other people killed, innocent people killed, so it was considered a legal execution, which America does have legal executions. But the clergy can't do that. We don't have the legal right to do that. So we cannot and must not. It would be murder if we did that. But we can do this, pastors. We can preach the gospel. We can tell people, look, it's not just being religious one day a week. It's 7 days a week living the Christ-like life. And if you're voting pro-abortion candidates, folks, you need to get saved. You need to get converted. In fact, some of you pastors may have voted for pro-abortion candidates. And I'm ashamed of you. I am absolutely ashamed of you. I'm ashamed to even call you a brother in Christ, much less a fellow minister, because I don't consider you to be a fellow minister. I think you're a minister of Satan the devil. You know what it says in 2 Corinthians? At least I hope you have read 2 Corinthians. Some of you I wonder about. But it says that Satan the devil, Satan's ministers masquerade as ministers of Christ. False apostles, ministers of the devil. The Bible talks about that. And if you're voting pro-abortion and you're not telling your congregations that they ought to vote pro-life, man, I'm telling you, I'm out of time. I've got a special issue. It cost us almost not quite $1 just to mail this out, plus the printing. So I don't know how much it cost us, but we won't charge you a dime for it. It's the special autumn issue of 2016, and it came out, it was actually printed the day after the election in November, and we still have some copies left. If you would like to get a copy of this, I'm not going to charge you for it. Just pick up the telephone and call and say, send me that article. The autumn issue, just say, send me the election issue of 2016. Now, make sure you say 2016. If this broadcast is played back some years from now, I want to make sure we got the right one. So the election issue of 2016, and on the cover it says Trump wins, and here's a picture of Donald Trump on the cover. It's in full color. If you would like to get this free of charge by mail, pick up the telephone and call this number, 704-938-6415. You can call anytime today or anytime during the week, during business hours only, 704-938-6415. But you can call today after you hear this broadcast. 704-938-6415. It's absolutely free of charge. There's no request for money. We want you to have this. We want to bless you. Until next time, this is Keith Slough. Thanks for listening.
You have been listening to Dr. Keith Slough from Ambassador Christian College. Listen again next Sunday at 1 p.m. for the Keith Slough Commentary. And that phone number once again is 704-938-6415.